There's a switch you can flip just once. And the way people look at you, speak to you, approach you shifts. You're not louder, not richer, but something has changed, something they can't describe. A silence in you that speaks louder than their entire vocabulary. A presence they can't ignore, no matter how much they pretend. Do this once and watch the world hesitate before they touch your name. You've been taught to win with noise, be charismatic, be likable, be relatable. But here's the truth no one tells you. The real ones don't chase presence. They radiate it. They don't try to be respected. They make you feel something you can't explain, and you call it respect. Because most people, they leak. They leak desperation, insecurity, the need to be accepted. They talk too much. They laugh too often. And in every sentence, they beg, please like me. And that's exactly why no one does. Try this instead. Next time someone tests you, don't react. Don't explain. Don't defend. Hold the stare. Breathe once. Smile. Not the polite kind, the knowing kind. Then let the silence do the rest. You'll see it instantly. Their voice shakes just a little. Their energy dips. Because they just lost control of a game they didn't know they were playing. That's power, unapologetic, unexplainable. People don't respond to what you say. They respond to what they feel around you. And silence, true, composed, loaded silence, is the most unnerving thing they'll ever feel. They're used to noise. They expect protest, explanation, weakness disguised as connection. When they don't get it, they feel naked. They start doubting themselves. And you didn't move. You didn't even blink. Most people live as reactors. Their emotions are public property. They'll spill everything over a slight insult or a cold look. And in doing so, they hand over the one thing they should guard with their life: control. Reactivity is the leash they use to walk you. But when you cut that leash, when they push and nothing moves, they start questioning if they're even standing on solid ground. Stillness, my friend, is dominance wearing a suit. You don't have to be cruel. You don't have to be aggressive. You just have to not need anything. Not validation, not agreement, not even comfort. When you radiate that, people recalibrate themselves automatically. Suddenly, they listen more. They apologize faster. They respect without knowing why. Because you're not trying to impress. You're letting them wonder. And that mystery, that's where your gravity lives. You think power is about being in control of others? It's not. It's about being in control of yourself in front of others. It's when your energy refuses to be shaken. When you become so grounded, even chaos gets quiet around you. They'll try to test it. They'll poke at you with sarcasm, attitude, fake dominance. Smile, let them. Because the moment they realize you're not reacting, they know they're not in charge anymore. And for the first time, they treat you different. The world is full of performers, people with loud personalities, sharp tongues, overcompensating egos. They build castles with sand and try to convince you it's concrete. But the moment you bring stillness into the room, they panic because stillness reflects, and people hate their own reflection when it's unfiltered. Your calm, it's a mirror. It shows them everything they're not. And instead of fixing it, they flinch. That flinch, that's the moment you rise above them without saying a word. Start observing, stop interrupting, stop correcting. Watch how people talk themselves into insecurity just because you didn't rush to comfort their ego. This isn't about arrogance. It's about becoming a presence so solid that even fake confidence starts melting in front of you. And it all starts when you do this one thing once. You decide, I don't owe anybody a reaction. You let your silence become your signature. Someone mocks you. You don't flinch. Someone disrespects you. You hold eye contact, not with anger, with curiosity, because you already know a person trying to drag you down is standing below you by default. Your calm becomes confrontation they never saw coming. You can only master this when you stop being afraid of disapproval, when you stop needing everyone to get you, because the ones who really run things, they don't beg to be understood. They let their outcomes do the talking. And while the world dances around trying to please everyone, you learn to walk through chaos untouched. People can feel it. And the truth is, they want to follow it because your stillness makes them feel safe, even if it scares them a little. Especially if it scares them a little. Don't overplay your hand. Don't over-explain your worth. That's what the desperate do. Say less. Move slower. Hold eye contact 1 second longer than expected. Then pause, right at the moment they expect you to break character. That pause, that's when you become unforgettable. You'll start to notice the small changes. The tone they use around you gets softer. They start asking for your opinion, even when you didn't offer it. People start second-guessing their own approach when they speak to you, because you change the rules. You're not reacting on cue anymore. You're not playing their emotional ping pong. You just stand there, unmoved, unbothered, focused. And that's when they start respecting you differently. Most people live for attention. They think being loud is the same as being important. But presence, true presence, is what makes a room adjust itself around you. It's the moment you walk in and the volume drops. Not because you asked for silence, but because your energy demands it. You didn't brag. You didn't flex. You just did one thing. You took control of your response. And from that moment on, people never saw you the same way again. They can't, because you're no longer operating on their level. There's a moment when people realize you're not who they thought you were. They labeled you polite, soft-spoken, predictable, until they met the version of you who doesn't explain, who doesn't seek approval, who doesn't flinch when challenged. Now they're unsure, and that uncertainty, it grows inside them. Because they can't figure you out. And humans fear what they can't define. When you begin walking like you own time, when your words are precise, your silence is intentional, and your gaze isn't scattered, you become unnerving. Not aggressive, not loud, unnerving. Because now they have to guess. They have to question if you're dangerous or just sharp, if you're cold or just deeply in control. And that guessing game tilts the balance of power silently in your favor. Do this in a room full of performers. People are trying hard to impress, bragging, laughing louder than necessary. Watch how their energy collapses. When you don't respond the way they expect. You don't laugh, you don't nod along, you just look. And in that look you say, I see through it. That's the moment they stop performing and start adjusting. Energy doesn't lie. Your presence tells people whether to treat you like a leader, a peer, or a puppet. And when you make your power still, the message is loud and clear. You don't need validation. You don't chase attention. You don't fear solitude. That level of inner control, it bends the social field in your direction. People can't explain why they listen to you more. They just do. Because respect isn't earned through noise. It's enforced through energy. Here's the test. Go silent for 1 week. Speak only when necessary. When people try to bait you emotionally, observe, smile, and say nothing. They'll start noticing your posture, your eyes, your detachment. They'll feel like you're watching them, not reacting to them. And in that space, their behavior starts shifting without them realizing it. That's the impact of controlled presence. It infects the room without raising your voice. People have to feel that they can't manipulate you, that you won't crack under pressure, that their opinion of you has zero weight on your emotional state, because once they feel that, they respect you or they fear you. But either way, they back off, and that's all you needed. You're not meant to be understood by everyone. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop diluting your presence for people who don't even respect themselves. You were not born to be liked. You were born to be respected. And there's a difference. Liked is soft. It bends. It apologizes for existing. But respect stands tall, even when it's alone. Respect makes people watch their tone, even when they're angry. Even when they think they're above you. You'll notice something strange once you master this. People who used to talk over you go quiet. People who used to dismiss you start watching you, not with admiration, with caution. They don't say it out loud, but they feel it. This version of you doesn't need us anymore. And that scares them, because if you don't need them, you can't be controlled. And if you can't be controlled, you become dangerous. Let's be honest. Most people fear power in silence, because silence means they can't read you. They can't guilt you. They can't use fake charm to distract you. They rely on your emotions. You need to explain. You need to be seen. So when you cut all that off, you don't become distant. You become untouchable, emotionally bulletproof. And that is rare. Think about the last time someone truly powerful walked into a room. They didn't talk much. They didn't explain themselves. They didn't smile on command. But everyone watched them. Why? Because when someone is at peace with their own value, they become magnetic. Not because of what they say, but because of what they don't. Still, the waters aren't just deep. They hide sharks. When you do this, when you anchor yourself like this, you won't need to raise your voice. People will listen to you before you even speak, because your energy will say, I don't need this moment. This moment needs me. And that flips everything. Now, you're not chasing validation. Validation walks into the room trying to impress you. All because you stopped reacting and started commanding. There's a moment when everything shifts. You don't announce it. You don't prepare the world for it. You just decide that you're no longer available for disrespect, no longer offering reactions to nonsense, no longer explaining yourself to people who never earned that access. That single decision, it breaks the social illusion you were trapped in, because now they don't get to push your buttons. You've hidden the control panel. Try it once. Let someone say something offensive. Let them test you, smile, hold eye contact, and say nothing. Feel the power in that silence. They were hoping to trigger you. Instead, they start scrambling. Their tone shifts. Their mask slips. Because they didn't come prepared for someone they couldn't provoke. And once you've done it once, you'll never see how weak emotional manipulators really are. This is how legends walk. This is how kings move. And this is why people treat you differently. Because they feel deep in their nervous system that you're not seeking their permission anymore. You're not here to be included. You're here to lead or walk away, but never to beg. You'll walk into rooms and own them without speaking. Not because of the way you dress, not because of your money, but because of one silent fact. You don't need them, but they might need you. That's the energy that flips the hierarchy. That's the energy that makes the loudest people go quiet. That's the energy that makes fake leaders feel small in your presence. Because you've become the one thing they can't control. Self-governed. They'll whisper, "Who does he think he is?" They'll gossip, "He changed." Good. That's exactly what you want. Because when they question you, when they doubt you, when they mock you, they're giving you proof that your transformation is real. Let them doubt. Let them squirm. Let them talk while you walk, calm, focused, unshaken. Let your stillness scream the truth louder than any argument ever could. You did it once, and now nothing will ever be the same again.